I'm telling you, it ain't nothing as dangerous as somebody who's making a comeback. You haven't had a fight till you get in the ring with somebody who's making a comeback. You haven't been through hell till you run up and punch somebody who ain't got nothing to lose. Slap somebody and say, nowhere to go but up. Already lost everything, already been through trouble, already been embarrassed, already been humiliated, already been talked about, already been laughed at, already been betrayed, already had my feelings hurt. Tell somebody, say, nowhere to go but up.
You can start to make a new stretch today. You can sign up for some new classes today. You can start engaging in constructive thinking today. You can make some life-changing decisions today. See, you don't ever have to be the same again, only by choice. And while you wait for prices to come down, I would go to work immediately and quickly on the refinement of your own thinking and the refinement of your own disciplines, and watch how quickly the equity of that starts to grow. Now, this is called dealing in straight talk. Let's go do it.
What's the first thing they say when you get on an airplane before they take off? Fasten your seatbelt. Why? Because you will experience some turbulence before you reach a comfortable altitude.
The only way to get unstuck is that you need something stronger, something greater, pulling the thing that is stuck. Because there's some people today that you're single and you feel like you're stuck. You feel like you're at a halt. You don't feel like you can progress in life.
You don't have to be popular to be powerful. I ended up going to dinner with, becoming friends with, eating with, fellowshipping with people who started out hating me. I had the capacity to withstand their hatred and the capacity to embrace their friendship. I understood that time defines you. Some people will understand you later. I didn't have the help I needed. I didn't have the money to do what I was doing. I didn't know anybody. But I knew one thing. I'm not in this thing by myself.
It's not about perfection, it's about progression. But some of you right now, you've got it in your mind. The only way I can progress is if I get a partner. Oh, but friend, you need something bigger than a partner to pull you out of this season where you feel like you're stuck. Guess what you need? You don't need a partner, you need a God-given purpose.
We all go through times where it doesn't feel like we're making progress. We're being our best, but not getting good breaks. The problem hasn't turned around. When we're not getting our way, we're doing the right thing, but we're being overlooked. Our friend got married, but we're still single. We're working harder than our coworker, but they got the promotion. We feel overlooked, undervalued, forgotten. These times of isolation where you're not being celebrated are extremely valuable. Nothing may be changing on the outside, but something's happening on the inside. Your character is being developed. You're learning to not depend on people. You're gaining experience, maturity, strength that you'll need to go where God is taking you.
This is what I found out being a professional alone person. It's okay to be alone. I get over 1,000 messages every single day. And a lot of people write to me saying, Ralph, I just can't seem to find anybody I can get on with. And I don't like it. It's okay to be alone. The reason why a lot of people experience a lot of loneliness is because they are in resistance to being alone. Because being alone is frightening for the majority of the human race. You got to be with yourself. You got to go within. A lot of stuff is going to come out. That's why a lot of us, we want to always be with friends. But if you continue just to follow the crowd, you will only go as far as the crowd.
Life situations is to use the illustration of the seasons. Number one, you cannot change the seasons until you get your own planet. All of this has been set in motion. But here's the next piece of information. You can change yourself. You can't change the seasons, but you can change yourself. Life and business is like the changing seasons. Frank Sinatra sang, life is like the seasons. First, learn how to survive the winter. Speaking of life in its simplest aspect, the first key to learn in your life on the spinning planet is to learn how to survive. Now, there's all kinds of winters, right? The winter of the calendar, right? The winter of the actual season. But then there's financial winters and social winters, personal winters. But we understand those because we've all been through it. Now, here's the key on the winters. Some are long and some are short. Some are easy and some are tough. But they always come right after harvest, right after fall, autumn. So we cannot rearrange the coming of the winters. But here's what we could do. Get stronger, wiser, and better so that we can survive better. And our life will be less eroded by learning to handle the next winter of a divorce, the next winter of an illness, the next winter of a death in the family, the next winter of a loss financially, the next winter of a crisis of whatever kind, to be better equipped. So here's the key, to learn the seasons so that you can approach it all in a very intelligent way. So you must think negative when it's positive. You must think winter when it's summer. Here's some of the best advice. It comes from classic tradition. A great story says, don't build your house on the sand in the summer. You must not be faked out when it's nice. You must think storm in the summer and not get faked out. And if you think storm, now you'll look for a rock on which to build your house. Now you're going to be safe. So you can't think nice when it's nice. You got to think storm when it's nice. The seasons are going to come and change. And if you're not educated to that degree, now you suffer a great loss. Now here's the next philosophy. The time to think positive is when it's negative. Why? Because the negative won't last long. How long is the winter? Isn't that long? Just hang on. It's not going to take that long. How long is the night? It's only a few hours. There's never been a double night. Couldn't you make it a few more hours? And the story says, yes, the night just can't last for. Sometimes it seems like it's going to last forever. And when you have insomnia, right, it seems like the night will never pass. But I'm telling you, sure enough, it will pass. So learn to think day when it's night. And then you must learn to think night when it's day. So you had to get it going, get it in before the night came. So this is a good idea now. Learn to think negative when it's positive. Learn to think storm when there is no storm. Learn to think winter in the summer. But then we must learn to think summer in the winter. We can make it through a few more hours, right? A few more days. It won't be that long. Hang in here. The spring will surely come. So the winters of life, learn to express those to other people, help them understand that as well as to try to understand it yourself. Now here's the next season, the spring. Spring is called opportunity. Not a guarantee. It's guaranteed the spring will come, but it's not a guarantee of a harvest. Here's the key, you must do something with the spring. Take advantage of the spring. Read every book you can get your hands on what to do with the springs of your life. Take advantage of the day, because the day follows the night. It's an opportunity now to turn things around. It's an opportunity to have a better one than the last one. It's an opportunity for a new beginning, a new spring, a new day, a new beginning. So spring is the chance to take advantage of another opportunity. Now, here's what you must do in the spring. It's a very short season usually. You must hurry. You wouldn't ask a farmer to go bowling in the spring. He hasn't got time. Why? The season is too short. The planting season is too short. You've got to get it done fairly quickly. Now, we call spring a window of opportunity. If you have a chance to talk to someone, the window's open. It may not stay open very long, so take advantage. Don't hesitate. Meet a new friend. talk to somebody while the window's open. Now here's the season for everybody to understand, because it is so applicable to our life, and that's the season of summer. 2 things we must do in the summer: nourish our values and protect. Nourish like a mother, protect like a father. The twin challenges in the summertime help to illustrate life, that we are confronted with both good and evil.
When you're at the top, when you're an owner or you're the leader, there's times where you have to do things by yourself. There's no doubt about that. And if you have a problem with that, you're going to have a problem being in a leadership position. Because there's things that you have to do as a leader. You have to lead from the front. You have to work harder. You have to do extra. And if you're not, that's not good. And if you're working harder, there's going to be times when you're not with anyone else. And you have to be okay with that.
That's what that expression means, it's lonely at the top. Meaning, like, you're at the top because you're willing to behave or be a certain way that other people either can't or won't, right?
From that perspective, you're definitely lonely at the top.
Yeah.
There's no one that's going to sit there and do what I'm willing to do to be there. Like, where are you at? I don't know. Haven't seen you.
If you want any value at all, come harvest. You gotta press, you gotta be bold. The high life is not for the timid and the shy. Some people mistake timidity for humility. Humility is a virtue. Timidity is a disease. Humility is almost godlike word. A sense of awe, a sense of wonder, a sense of understanding the distance in worth, an awareness of the human soul, the spirit, something unique about the human drama versus the rest of life. A grasp of the distance between us and the stars, and yet having the feeling that we're part of the stars. It's okay to dream, but we must not just become a dreamer. Be proud, but not arrogant. It takes pride to win the day. It takes pride in company, opportunity. It takes pride in group, organization. It takes pride in cause and accomplishment. But the key is to be proud without being arrogant.
If you want the audacity to be successful, don't you understand the crap that comes along with that? Like, I wanted the audacity to be in shape. It's come with a lot of crap. It's been a lot of work. You deal with it because it's a very small price to pay for all the phenomenal stuff that you headline read and you aspire to and you dream for. The problem is most of you don't want to eat that shit to get there.
Analyze where you are. Go into your store. What's in here? What's old? What's decaying? What stinks? Okay, what's that over there? Negative attitude. Gotta get rid of that one. Negative people. We can't hang anymore. You got to go. You can't do this anymore. Fear. Come out of there. What's over there in the corner? Procrastination. What's over there? Okay, bad attitude. All that stuff, get out of there. Throw it out. It's got to go. And what do I need? What do I need to get me from where I am to where I need to go? What do I need? Okay, I need more people who dream like me, who think like me, who can stretch and grow like me. I gotta surround myself with more people like that. All right, good. I need more confidence here. I need to develop more belief in my ideas and in my plans. I've got to do that. What else do I need to get to where I need to get to survival, to live? What do I need? Okay, I'm going to a new place. I need new skills. So this is what it is, inventory. Throw out what you don't need, add what you need.
Here's one of the better realistic illustrations, and that's health and illness at odds in your body. Illness trying its best to drive health into a small corner and occupy the territory. And health trying what? To push illness into a small corner. There's this contest going on. Who's going to occupy the territory? If one stays strong, the other is diminished. If the other gains in power, then the other is diminished. So what you must learn to do is cooperate with the positive side of everything in your body and your life. Sometimes we sabotage our own best interest. Because if we get weak, I'm telling you, it moves in, takes the territory. So we're in the middle of this contest, and here's what it's called: opposites in conflict. Good, evil, liberty, tyranny, right? Health, illness, winning and losings, right? There's the struggle going on. But here's the key. It's the only way, it seems, it's the only way to create a human adventure. Doesn't seem to be any other way currently. It seems like to create an adventure, to create a unique human scenario, we need opposites in conflict. And it's the only way to have a civilized society. And we've got to fight these skirmishes. We've been fighting them forever. We've got to fight them forever. Whether they're inside your own body or whether they're in politics, no matter where they are. We must play this game. We must fight this game. But here's what it creates, a great adventure. Let me give you the ultimate now. Could you win if you couldn't lose? And the answer is no, it doesn't seem like it. You couldn't call it winning. You can't win if you couldn't lose. So that's the deal now. Negative, positive. Would there be negative, positive without negative? No, it doesn't seem like it. It seems like this is the current setup, you know, for the foreseeable future. It looks like it's been that way as long as we can remember and as long as the history tells us. So here's what you want to do if you want the adventure. You must learn to play this game, to work with all the positive forces to defeat the negative forces as early and as soon and as much as possible, to contain the ravages of disease that want to take you early. You got to fight back. You can't just leave it. Somebody says, well, I got my fingers crossed. Not a good philosophy. You got to take your vitamins. You got to do the stuff. You got to do the deal. Jump on the positive side of whatever you want and see if you can't help out in this warfare and this push-shove match. That's the key. So in the summer, here's what you must do. Nourish the plants and the garden. Nourish your values like a mother. Give life. Whatever you start now, you must nourishment and give it life. Don't neglect a new life if you've started a new life. What if you said to a brand new mother, where is your baby? She says, I have no idea. You would say, no, that isn't right. If you start a new life, you must care for it. You must protect it. You must give it life, give it nourishment. Now here's the other part. You must protect it like a father. That's why the old wise man said, we must learn to love and hate. And the illustration he used was, you must learn to love good and hate evil. To deal with the weeds in your garden, you've got to hate weeds. You've got to hate them enough to what? Kill them. You can't say, well, poor weeds. Say, no, this ain't the deal, poor weeds. So, learn the good evil. Now, here's the greatest battle in the mind. Here's what you must not become in the summer in your mind, a victim of yourself. What is that insidious voice inside your own head that says, you're too short, it'll never work for you, you're too tall, right? It's over for you, right? It's never worked for you before. What gives you any idea that it'll work for you now? You've never been able to rise up and take charge of your life. What makes you think you can do it now? There's going to be too many obstacles out there. You'll never overcome them all. What is that insidious voice? It's the same game going on inside your head that's going on in the world. Liberty and tyranny in a push-shove match. And here's what you've got to do. Cooperate with the positive side of your life and let faith drive out doubt, right? Let winning drive out losing. Let positive drive out negative. But you've got to get into the contest. And why get into the contest? Because that's how you create an adventure. There is no other way. It takes both. You've got to learn to laugh, yes, but that's not what the wise men only said. You can't just learn to laugh and keep on laughing. No, that's silly. It says there's also a time to cry. You've got to learn to both laugh and cry. Then it said you must be so sophisticated as not to laugh when it's time to cry. Then it further says you must learn to laugh with those that laugh and learn to cry with those that cry. That now gives you an understanding what life is all about. Sadness and joy, the contest, the difference. And yet it creates the adventure. But here's the adventure: to overcome the evil, to put evil in its place. Just like in your mind, you've got to stand guard at the door of your mind and see if you can't suppress, see if you can't do battle with the negative forces. Don't become a victim of yourself. Beware of the thief on the street that's after your purse, but also beware of the thief in your mind that's after your promise. And see if you can't engage in this mental contest and win the day. That's the summer. Now here's one more season, and that's the season of harvest. Here's the key to remember harvest time: in due season, in due time, when it's time. And part of this is to develop the patience so that when it's time, it will come. But you cannot be impatient. Patience is part of the game here. You can't plant the seed and 2 or 3 days later dig around and say, where's my crop, where's my crop? I say, no, come on, that's foolish. We'll take you away to some safe place. You got to plant and wait and exercise patience. And then when it comes time, you give it nourishment and you give it care and you give it protection, and then you got to wait some more and you got to wait some more and you got to wait some more.
When you feel like giving up, don't. When you're thinking about giving up, don't. When they tell you you can't, come on, man, who are they? When they tell you you're not gonna make it, don't believe them, man. You got to be relentless.
Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. It's going to be hard. Easy is not an option. But if it's hard, we will do it hard. Whatever is required, it's worth whatever we have to do. And once we know that, it is done. It is done. It is done. It is done. Never give up. Without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. Keep working. Keep striving, never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8.
See, we're talking tonight about pruning, talking about what needs to stop that we might start the right thing. What do we need to break up with so we don't break down in the future? Because so many of us tonight, as I'm preaching, you're starting to go to the habits you need to stop. You're going to the thought process you need to stop. Some of us in this room, there might be a deeper fundamental truth. And the deeper fundamental truth and the simplicity of it is that some of you in this room, you just have to stop stopping.
Until you have had the taste of finishing, you will not respect yourself. Tears and struggles and pain, and you go through it anyway, and you continue to fight on no matter the circumstances. After a while, something begins to wither inside of you.
You may not understand why it's taken so long, why it hasn't turned out the way you thought, why you're in a lonely season. But everything you've been through was to strengthen you, to develop you, to prepare you. God wouldn't have allowed it if it wasn't part of the process. Without it, you couldn't give birth to what's in you. Keep passing the test. Keep doing the right thing, then your time is coming. Your baby is on the way. What God promised, He will bring to pass.
As thy days are, so shall thy strength be. As thy days are, so shall thy strength be. That means the tougher the day, the greater the strength. The harder the test, the greater the power. In other words, I measured the day before I released the strength, and I am sure that I gave you enough strength to get through whatever this. Because you passed enough tests that He knew you could handle it now. Because He's going to show up in your life in a way that He's never showed up before. And yes, you may have more trouble, but you're going to have more glory, more anointing, more blessing, more wisdom. More of this means more of that. So when you see all hell breaking loose, understand that the angels are coming from every direction. You have to trust God when He says no. The saddest thing I have ever seen is a wasted opportunity. I've seen people misunderstand the opportunity, pollute it with arrogance or self-aggrandizement, and lose the opportunity.
That most people get caught up in the distractions of life. Look around and praise God, because whatever you've done is on the tip of the iceberg possible for you. Yes. Look back, thank God. Look around and praise God for all the possibilities. all the things that's looking at you, waiting for you to take advantage of. Expand your vision for what's possible for you. To decide that your circumstances are not going to define you. Make a decision. This is a pivot point. This is a deciding moment that you've had it living life as you've been living, and you want more because you deserve it. You deserve it.
Keep some things for you. You don't have to share it if you have a relationship problems to the world. Work on it instead of sharing it. Update your problems to God, not people. Finding validation in them, you already been validated. What they say, what they like, what they comment shouldn't make you feel special or unspecial about yourself. So stop letting people make you feel different.
Stop sharing all of the visions and ideas that God sends you. Do it. Stop trying to talk people into what God told you to do. Just do it. You're pretty much not doing anything that hasn't been done before, but sometimes, in most cases, God will send these individual, bold visions. You end up letting people talk you out of something that's inside of you that you're supposed to do.
Every thought that we entertain produces a chemical in our brain that impacts the body's immune system. So just for good health and peace of mind, let it go. Any feeling of resentment or anger or hatred is called to me the load of bitterness within.
So if you wear Christian Louboutin, and if you wear Gucci, and if you wear Nike, then you must be somebody. No! You cannot have a possession-based understanding of who you are. Give me that job that'll make me important. If you weren't important before you got it, you won't be important after you get it.
One way God vindicates you is He promotes you in the presence of your enemies. He doesn't do it in private, but in public, so that those that left you out, they will see you promoted, honored, in a position of greater influence.
All of you hanging out with all these random people and you gifted and talented, they cannot contribute to your ultimate level of success that you're on your way to. They can't inspire you to go to that next level because they're not even on your same level of thinking.
Greatness is not popularity. It's not how many Twitter followers you have. If you get busy worrying about does everybody know how good I am and how great I am, you'll sacrifice your greatness for popularity. Greatness just does what it does, and people discover the greatness. They see it in you.
We must set up our inner boundaries, or our thoughts will be confused. And with confused thoughts, we'll end up being confused, hopelessly lost in the maze of life. Look around you at this very moment in time. What might you be doing that needs attention? Wouldn't this be an ideal time to examine your need for a new discipline?
Take life seriously. Life has no duplicate. Decide as you look at your life, as you determine what is it that the next greatest version of myself. You have to monitor and manage the priorities in your life. Guess what number one is? Your state of mind.
And I know it's hard to hear, but keep on believing in that voice. Deep in your soul that's whispering, I'm going to make it. You do this, and I have no doubt that you too can become something else. And if you have to defy gravity to catch your dream, then you'll grow wings. There's something magical about you. It's time to discover that.
Hidden greatness is usually revealed during hardships. It's the hardship, the crisis, that brings greatness out of people. The hard places reveal hidden greatness. Hidden greatness will get in trouble and rise to the occasion.
Listen to me. You have been given an opportunity. You have been given an opportunity of a lifetime. And if you think you're going to blow up, if you think you're going to get to the next level by luck, you got another thing coming.
Opportunity comes in chaos. A chance to stand up. A chance to get it right. A chance to make a U-turn.
I can change, you can change, the other people in our life can change, our finances can change. There's nothing that cannot change. Don't look at any situation and think this is hopeless, this will never change. And yet we have such a tendency to lean toward what's wrong and finding the fault. But we can change that attitude.
The process, the little steps that make a mile. It is not the destination. It is the things you learn along the way. It is the people who beguiled you and tricked you that make you wiser. Wisdom is made out of the stupid things you did before you got it.
By not being prepared, you make the choice of getting caught in some of life's unpleasant circumstances, failures, personal losses. By not being prepared, it's your choice. Now here's the other side of it. By being prepared, you increase your chances of success.
When things go wrong, they always seem to happen at once, and they just compound on top of each other. And it's pretty easy sometimes to feel beaten when you're faced with all those issues and all those problems, and they all hit you at the same time. Let me tell you, that doesn't mean give up. It means it's time for you to fight harder, to dig in. It means it's time for you to go on the war path.
What do you want? What do you see for yourself? Look ahead. What do you see for you? Look beyond your circumstances. Expand your vision. Become clear about what it is that you want. What is it that you want for your family? What is it you want for your health? Look around at your environment. Does it feed you? Does it fuel you? Does it motivate you? Does it inspire you? Or does it drain you? Does it deplete you? Is it compromising your power, your circumstances? Very important.
If you take yourself and you put yourself in a new environment, new genes turn on in your nervous system. They encode for new proteins. You're full of biological potential that won't be realized unless you move yourself around in the world into different challenging circumstances, and that'll turn on different circuits. It's that by exposing yourself to different environments, you put different physiological demands on yourself all the way down to the genetic level, and that manifests new elements of you. Because you take yourself out of your dopey little village, and that's just the little bounded you that everyone knows and that isn't very expanded. And then you go somewhere dark and dangerous, and while you do that, you have adventures and they toughen you and pull more out of you, partly because you're becoming informed.
Time and change are the raw materials of life. These are two things you can't stop, and they keep moving. And they build your life. Time and change are building blocks. In other words, time and change are the only commodities in life that every human have in common. All of us are given 24 hours every day.
A lot of people just showing up in life. A lot of people just get up in the morning, go to the job just to pull a check down, watching the clock coming in. So you want to be a different kind of person as you forward your life. If you're going to do it, it's worth your time, your energy. You've got some expectations from this. I do not let people waste my time.
If there's considerable time that passes between the moment of awareness and the time of our implementation, then that is called procrastination. Doing it tomorrow instead of today, an almost exact opposite of discipline. The voice within us says, get it done. Discipline then says, do it now, tomorrow, and always, until finally, the worthy deed becomes instinctive.
Doubt comes from the suffer, it comes from a loss, it comes from fear, it comes from the sacrifice. And so just remember this, you're supposed to suffer and sacrifice. What are you willing to risk in order to make your dream come true? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. You're going to take a risk. Maybe it's financial. Maybe it's a risk of looking bad. Maybe it's a risk of failing, of falling on your face, of going broke, of going through anxiety. What are you willing to risk in order to win?
You're not doing it for their sake, you're doing it for your sake. That poison is contaminating your life. When you release it, you'll step into new levels of freedom, Is there something you need to let go of? Bitterness, anger, how someone treated you? It wasn't right what they did, but you're forgiving so you can be free.
Dreams motivate us. Dreams energize us. In all of your getting, get a dream in your life. A dream is the inward picture of the future you desire. And don't act like it's not important. And when God is going to do something in your life, He'll give you a picture first on the inside of where you're going before you ever get there. And He says, live into that dream.
Use your power to change things, not to complain about your situation. Use your power to recreate things, not talking about where you are. Use your power because you've been given authority and dominion over everything. Exercise it. Don't give it away.
Look ahead. What is it that God is calling you to do? What's in your heart? Because where your heart is, there your treasure is also. What's in your heart? There's a calling. You were created on purpose, with a purpose. You're still here regardless of what you've gone through. You're still here regardless of what you've done and all the things that you've done that you shouldn't have done. You are still here for a purpose, for God's purpose.
You can change whether or not you go for the skills, multiply your value by 2, 3, 5, 10. That you've got charge of. That you have control of. You don't have control of the constellations. Learn some new skills. You have control over that.
What's the biggest problem? What's causing the most stress? Explain where you are at. Be blunt, be upfront, and then give them the simple plan of how you're going to get things back on track. You give it to them straight, right? You're falling behind at work. Talk to your boss. Face it. Tell him you're going to get after it. And tell him that you're 100% committed. It won't be easy. It will be hard because life is hard. That's what life is.
I know people do things that hurt you. Everything is not fair and everything is not just and everything's not right. Sometimes you've done the very best and you don't get selected and you don't get the opportunity. You cannot afford to get bitter because if you get bitter, you will never get better. You gotta get that out of you. If you got to throw it up, if you got to pray it up, you gotta get it out of you. There's a curse on it. There's a curse. You gotta get it out, get it out, get it out, get it out, get it out. He left you, he cheated on you, but get it out of you, get it out of you. So you go ahead.
That's the character test. It's like, what do you do with messages of error? Here's what not to do. I am a bad person. I might as well just go jump off the bridge. It's like, no, that's not good, because what that means is that every time you try to learn something, you're going to make a mistake, because what do you know? So you're going to make mistakes. And if the rule is every time you make a mistake, you're going to go jump off the bridge, then that's not a useful problem-solving strategy. And so when you make a mistake, you don't get to beat yourself to death with a club. It's a bad strategy.
These challenges that you face, they're going to do their best to take you down. Let those challenges raise you up. Let them elevate you. Let their demands and their trials make you stronger. Stand up, dig in. Line up those problems and confront them. Face them. Fight them.
A man should live fully, be alive. He should be glad to get out of bed in the morning. He should be doing a job he likes to do because he does it well. My years in the newspaper business have convinced me of several things. Among them, that people are basically good, and that we came from someplace, and we're going someplace. So we should make our time here an exciting adventure. The architect of the universe didn't build a stairway leading nowhere.
But for this whole process to work for us, we must first master the art of discipline, self-discipline. Consistent self-discipline. It takes consistent self-discipline to master the art of setting goals. If we don't make consistent self-discipline part of our daily lives, the results we seek will be sporadic.
Become aware of what your needs are. Develop compassion for yourself despite your human defects. You will never be perfect. You will never be perfect. You're human. You've made a lot of mistakes.
It takes a consistent effort to truly manage our valuable time, or we'll be consistently frustrated. Our time will be eaten up by others whose demands are stronger than our own.
You can't be in price tag mode. What's it cost? What's it cost? What's it cost? You never get what you want. Decide in advance what it's going to cost. Successful people don't negotiate the cost of something. They negotiate whether it's worth it. If you're a person who's always thinking about what it's costing you in the sacrifice towards your dream, you're always going to be negotiating it.
I used to be broke, and I might be broke again, but nothing lasts forever. To everything there is only a season. Whatever your season is right now, it cannot last.
There are two things that may be said of everyone. Each of us wants something, and each of us is afraid of something. Perhaps you'd like to double your income or make a specific amount of money. It may be a beautiful home. It could be a more harmonious family. Each of us wants something. Think about it in a cheerful, relaxed, positive way each morning when you get up, and immediately you have something to work for, something to get out of bed for, something to live for.
No second chance. No, what would I do differently? Choose one or the other, but both will have their price, the price of discipline or the price of regret. You see, the discipline that it takes to make your bed every day is the same discipline necessary for success in the world of business. The first lesson of discipline is that it isn't the easiest option. The second lesson of discipline is that it's a full-time activity.
If you keep hanging out with negative people, it's going to infect you with fear. Stop filling your mind with negative words from television, internet, social media.